Hey folks, this is James, aka Threscurnis, and I promised y'all I'd do another one of these getting to know the Scroll of Thoth videos when I reached 500 subscribers. Well, here we are. Let's see how many subscribers I have left after this. Before I get started with this, I want to first say I kind of surprised you with the last video on the Gansfeld experiment that we did. That's a part of a new series of occult experiments that we'll be doing for both Scroll of Thoth and the Midwest Spirits channel. They're part ritual, part mind-bending sort of experiments. Going to involve the spirit box and some other paranormal type stuff in there. I think you guys are really going to enjoy those. So expect to see those coming in a semi-regular basis. Especially now that I have a crew together who can come over to the temple and really lay it down. With that out of the way, let's rock. It has come to my attention by some of the comments left on my videos that you guys might have some different expectations from what you're getting here at the Scroll of Thoth. And, that's partially my fault. It's partially my fault. When you name something Scroll of Thoth, you have every right to be expecting Hermeticism, Kabbalah, alchemy. The thing is, that's not really what I'm into. If you are, that's great. If you're getting results from Kabbalah and Hermeticism, then do that. But I'm only interested in them as the end product of Egyptian magical thought. Like, that's not what was going on for the majority of ancient Egypt. That's Ptolemaic. That's Roman. That's later period stuff. What I'm interested in is what was going on in the temples and in the streets for, those earlier 3,000 years of Egyptian history. So I can see how you're confused. I don't put much stock in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. They're interesting from a cultural examination. And to be completely honest with you, and I've said this before, Thoth, Hermes, I don't see the connection. And I think anyone who really studies Thoth, the beliefs of Thoth, the characterization of Thoth in early Egypt, I don't think you're going to find much there either. Another thing that I have to say is that the Western esoteric tradition is not all Golden Dawn and Crowley, okay? I know this is going to piss some people off. And once again, if Thelema is your bag, if Kabbalah is your bag, that's great. That's great. But that's not what I'm doing. I will give you the best piece of advice that you have ever received about magic. If you believe this in your mind and in your heart, you are going to be so much better off than a lot of people. And that piece of advice is, in the context of the Western esoteric tradition, Aleister Crowley just isn't that important. I'm sorry, he's not. The Greek magical papyri, that's important. The grimoire tradition, that's important. The Cyprianic tradition, that's important. The influences of African traditional religions, that's very important. Crowley, Golden Dawn, it was a flash in the pan. It's not so much, and it was a product of its time. Here's what I am into, and that is animism. And that's 250,000 years. Lying at the heart of the tradition is animism. 250,000 years before civilization, 250,000 years as a continuation all up into modern times, into the grimoire tradition, into witchcraft, into paganism. Animism is the heart of the Western esoteric tradition, not Kabbalah. It isn't. And I know that confuses a lot of people. Because number one, it's called Scroll of Thoth. And number two, I am a ceremonial magician. But remember that ceremony doesn't require Kabbalah, it doesn't require alchemy, it doesn't require astrology. Ceremony, in essence, is protocol. And that's what I'm doing. I'm developing a protocol to communicate with the spirits. So hopefully a protocol that fits what I'm trying to say and fits what they're able to understand. Okay, so why is it called Scroll of Thoth? Well, that's pretty obvious. It's because Beaky and I are tight. And I'll never forget the advice that he gave me, which is, all magic belongs to Thoth. Which is arrogant. Yeah, I know. But what I think he was really saying is, all forms of magic are legit. All forms of magic are legit. And the ones that you're practicing and the ones that inspire you and the ones that get you results, that's what you should be doing. Not what you think is expected of you. Enough of my complaining. Back to the Midwest spirits thing. You know, at first I was afraid to mix that with the Scroll of Thoth channel. I was thinking, you know, maybe magicians aren't into that. And maybe you're not. And that's okay. But I am. And I'm going to do the magic that I want to do. And I really do believe that paranormal inquiry, paranormal investigation, and the occult and magic are basically the same thing. At least if you're doing it right. Because if you think that paranormal investigation is going to prove anything, well, it hasn't so far. It's not going to prove anything scientifically. That's never going to happen. You can get a lot of evidence, but proof, that's not happening. Figuring out what's weird, that's interesting. Looking into experiences, having experiences, that's interesting. And that's where magic and paranormal investigation cross. You should be out there having weird experiences. Let me tie all this together with my perspective and with emergent magic and the whole enchilada, okay? I've been accused of trying to start a cult, which is absolutely ridiculous because we don't have membership rolls and we don't even charge dues. So, not sure how that is starting a cult. And the older I get, the more I realize just how repugnant I find that idea. And I hang out around a lot of occultists and I hear them joke about it. I hear them go, "Oh, I should start a cult." No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. That's awful. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to inspire you. I am here to get you out of your chair and actually do some magic. And do it with friends. Get together with some other folks. Do something weird this weekend. Go explore an old abandoned building. Do a ritual. You know, anything. Do anything that corporations aren't trying to sell to you. Make up your own. Do it together. Do magic. Don't just watch my videos or anyone else's videos. Don't just read books. You got to be out there doing it. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. There's a lot of weird things you can do. So get to it. Okay. I can hear you asking, Threscurnis, what the hell does this have to do with ancient Egypt? What are all those videos about? Well, first, ancient Egypt is the inspiration for my protocol. I think the Egyptians had a lot of that right, and I think there's a lot of spirits out there who recognize that sort of flavor, let's call it. Number two, I've just always been a huge history geek. I love history, and I want to present some of it to you. And I'm never going to, tell you about ancient aliens or any of the stupid, colonial, kind of racist theories out there about the ancient Egyptians. I'm going to give you the truth, the real history. So if you want more of that, keep watching. I'll see you on the flip side with some final words. Add your name to the Scroll of Thoth by joining our Ko-Fi fundraising campaign. Ko-Fi subscribers will receive access to the extensive archive of Scroll of Thoth podcasts, access to our private Discord server, special extended cuts of our videos, a 10% discount in our store on all Scarlet Ibis Apothecary items, bonus videos and other content, and a free 3-card tarot reading every month for those who subscribe for $10 or more. Help me create more videos on the occult and the spiritual history of ancient Egypt. Discover a magic that goes beyond the repeated platitudes of Victorian-era dilettantes and look into the true heart of the Western esoteric tradition. As always, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. I really, really appreciate it. Some of this content is going to be unique to Scroll of Thoth. Some of it is going to be unique to Midwest Spirits. So maybe subscribe to both. Thanks once again for 500 subscribers. I know that's not huge, but it's big to me. And we'll see you next time.